This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Feels like Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, and we are only just about a month and a half away from that being a reality. Welcome to 9 to Noon. Guardsy filling in today for Paul Allen and Eric Nordquist, and we are on location at the University of Minnesota from their, I guess, internal media day is what they call it. Pretty much every player is doing something here for the next 4 or 5 hours, and we're going to hear from a lot of them as Big Ten Football Media Day in Vegas is next week. Then fall camp starts in a little bit. It is that time of year. We'll be at Vikings camp a week from Thursday on the bumper-to-bumper side, and it's cool to be down here for some Gopher stuff from 9 to noon today. We're going to hear from Darius Taylor, running back one, here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to hear from both basketball coaches this morning. Don Plitzuweit and Nico Medved are going to stop by as we are in the old football building in the hallway. New quarterback Drake Lindsey is going to join about 10:30, and we've got a bunch more before noon. The voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm, is never good to be compared to Lavelli Neal III when it comes to showing up on time or making an appearance, but you've had a hell of a morning just to join me here in the Hall of Fame building. Well, good morning and thank you.
When most of your day's work is done before people get up, this is what happens, Guardsy. You got to do what you got to do. So here we are.
Are you familiar with rush hour? Is that a new concept to you?
Yeah. Well, not only is it rush hour, but road construction and rain. People cannot drive in rain. We talk about people not able to drive in snow, and there's truth there. Like, it's ridiculous. But people lose their mind in rain, too.
I had no problems getting down here. I had no issues. There was no traffic.
From Pleasantville, of course.
I gave myself enough time.
When you make the kind of money that the side piece on the afternoon show makes, you can live in a nice spot that has nice traffic, and you probably had a police escort in.
I thought we were going to do the Zach Halverson Hermantown bit with you sprinting in here because what would you say, Brett Blakemore? 30 seconds before the Open started, I had no idea if Grimm was going to be able to join me, if he was going to be able to make it here, and I was scrambling.
First of all, I ain't sprinting for anything.
Well, that's what I mean. I was worried we were going to have Hermantown, and it was going to be Al Shaver press box.
I was absolutely going to walk either way. If I'm late, I'm late. But I wasn't going to end up. I've done that before. And that's not a pleasant experience.
I'm glad that you made it. The music was playing. Yeah. We had a couple of different bonus songs, and we had everything going. But thankfully, you're here.
Here we are. My goodness.
And thankfully, our first guest of the morning has joined us. He is RB1. He is Darius Taylor. Great to see you, man. Thanks for coming by.
Good to see you as well.
So you've got a busy day today. This is probably one of your first stops, but I'm curious, does it feel like the season's about to start? Like you go through spring ball, off-season workouts, whatever you're doing with the team during the summer. Does the body feel like it's time to actually get moving here and get camp going?
Yeah, it does. We've done a lot of conditioning, a lot of preparing for camp. It takes a big toll on your body doing fall camp. So a lot of the summer conditioning has been some heavy running in the warm heat. Just getting us acclimated to that heat and ready for training camp, and training camp will prepare us for the season. I'm excited to get going, and it does feel like the season's coming up. I'm excited. Team's excited. We're moving in the right direction.
It's crazy to me that you're a junior, that you've been here for a while. So I'm curious, kind of compare and contrast when you first got here a couple of years ago, your role on the team, whether it was leadership, whether it was just being one of the upperclassmen, to really a tone setter, I would imagine, now for the whole offense and the whole football team. How seriously do you take that part of it?
I take it very serious. When I first got here, my job was just to learn the playbook and figure it out. And I did, and that was a great opportunity and a really fun year. But as I've grown and gotten older, I've learn to realize that the leadership is important. Make sure I'm leading the running back room to give them the guidance that I had when I first got here. And also just allowing me to become just a better man in general. And I'm excited to get going with the guys. I'm excited for my junior year. It'll be fun.
A year ago at this time, Darius, it seemed that the main storyline was Darius Taylor missed 6 games his freshman year. What have you been doing to work on your health? And can you stay healthy? Can you take the beating that you took? And a year ago, you missed the opener, then 12 straight games, pretty healthy throughout. I know the Rutgers game, you had, a bit of an ankle injury. But how do you feel physically now after going through that 12-game grind and then the 13th game and the bowl game into the offseason ready to go? It's we haven't heard many people talk about it now because you had such a good productive year last year.
I'm happy I was able to stay healthy last season, but it's always the same thing. It's always the preparation, the prehab, understanding my body, still taking care of it. There's still things that you always have to stay on, like the hamstring issues I was having early on. That's something that you have to stay on. That's something that doesn't go away. Soft tissue is a real thing for everybody. If you don't do the right things before the workouts and during workouts, then you'll have soft tissue injuries and things of that nature. So, as long as I'm taking care of myself and keeping myself in the correct shape, I think that everything will be well.
And some of it's just luck, too, right? Sometimes you get a bad luck situation and you miss a game or two, and hopefully luck is on your side. I think part of last year also was you had a couple of running mates that were also part of that. Marcus Major was able to take a little load off at times, and now that position with Marcus Major, moving on in terms of out of eligibility, there's some guys there. A.J. Turner's come in. Maybe it's hard to tell through summer workouts who might be that other guy or two, as Guardsy likes to say, the pair and a spare. But what kind of situation do you see in the RB2, RB3 situation to complement you?
Honestly, don't know who will be there, but I know that everybody will be ready.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their job, and everybody's excited to just get going. Nobody's really being selfish or thinking about where they're at on the depth chart or what they're going to do role-wise. Everybody's just kind of out there learning the offense, making sure that they can execute at the highest level, and just make sure that the team will be good. So whatever comes out in training camp, that'll be the final depth chart. But, I'm excited to get going, and so are the guys.
That's the voice of Darius Taylor, Gophers running back one here. Guardsy and Grimm from Gopher Football Media Day on campus filling in for 9 to noon. Drake Lindsey. Tell us about what you've seen from him, obviously now kind of moving from the shadow of Max Brosmer, really the back pocket of Max Brosmer from my observations because he followed him around a lot, as now presumptively the starting quarterback for you. What should fans know about Drake?
Drake's done a great job of becoming a leader. He followed right behind Max when it came with the leadership. Max was a great leader. Drake's done a great job taking that over, keeping the team up. Doing the same things, make sure he's leading player ran practices, player ran throwing sessions, things of that nature, keeping us all connected. We're doing things off the field together. He's done a great job of just becoming a great leader. And also on field, he's just doing his job. He's facilitating, and I'm excited to get going for whoever wins that job. Everybody out there has been doing a great job. Wiki, Schick, and even Emmett, that just got here. He's been doing a great job learning the offense. So, whoever comes out with that job, I'm excited to get going. But everybody's been doing a great job.
You, a year ago, very productive, both as a runner and a receiver. We, that storyline of you playing running back in high school for some of your time in high school and how that translated to the skill set for you to be a guy out of the backfield. You were at nearly 1,000 rushing yards in 12 games, and then you caught 54 or whatever it was, 54, 56 passes out of the backfield, a couple of touchdowns out of the backfield, including that memorable one at UCLA, late in that game to get the win out at the Rose Bowl. Do you, and now with a new quarterback, because I think Max was a guy who really knew how to incorporate that running back into that situation. Do you see the offense having a similar situation where you're going to be a vital piece as a pass catcher as well as a rusher?
I think that if it calls for it, yes. I don't think that it's something that we're going to force, nor did we last year. Honestly, it was just Max understood that if his first or second read wasn't there, that he could come down to the check down and he would use it. And I think that, it's all dependent upon the game plan and what's going on in the game. If our first 2 reads are open, we're going to throw the ball down the field. But it's just an opportunistic type of thing. You kind of just get those opportunities as they come, and if that's what's hitting in the game, then we'll use it. But I don't think that's something that we're just necessarily going after.
EA Sports college football game came out this week. You are rated as a 91.
Yes.
How do we feel about that? Was that a good number? Are you concerned about that number? That's the big thing now, right? Everybody wants to know what their player rating is. It's a big deal. I'm sure it's talked about a lot in the locker room. So Darius Taylor, 91. What's our reaction to that?
I was super excited. I just wanted to be a 90 or up. Last year I was at 88, so I just wanted to get that 90. I ended up getting the 91. I'm excited about my player, but our team in a whole is not very good, which is kind of frustrating, but it's okay.
Well, but you have a say in that, right? Eventually you have a say in that when, I guess, Thursday night shows up, and then obviously Saturdays for the rest of the time.
As the season goes, we'll get better.
Coy Parrish obviously rated pretty high as well.
Yes.
He might be joining you on the offensive side for a little bit. Just kind of take us through, as you kind of know the highly touted freshman role. You played that a couple of years ago. He obviously did that last year, and now people are excited to see him in his true sophomore year. So what have you seen from him kind of year to year?
Last year, he did a great job of just coming out and doing his job. Like when he first got here, the biggest thing for him was understanding the playbook and figuring it out. And he did a great job of it. Once he got out on the field, he just made plays. That's just him. And I'm excited for his sophomore year. It's his time to do it again. Pretty much just show that it's true, it's not a fluke. And I'm excited, and I know he can. Great guy, great football player. So I'm excited for him to get out there and be able to make those plays.
Back to the video game for a second. What is that like? I know we talked that was because last year was the first year in a while that it had come back. Obviously, I remember asking guys around this time last year out in Indy and stuff. What is it like sitting down on your couch in your apartment or your dorm or house or wherever you live, and you're literally could play yourself in a video game. You think about that, and man, that it just came out, right? There's so much buzz, not just with Gopher football, but just in general the college football video game. So, what's it like sitting down and being Darius Taylor, literally on a console, being Darius Taylor on the TV screen?
It's really fun because you can do things on there that you cannot do in real life. Like we could pitch the ball back in the game. If I did that in the game,
be a problem.
Yeah, it'd be a big problem. When I fumble, nobody has to freak out because it's a video game. I can run backwards and run around in circles. So it's fun. It's fun to just be able to do things that you can't do in real life. Just like say playing a simulation of the game. So it's fun. Exciting.
And when you get tackled, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's just a part of the nature of the game. I've been doing that my whole life, so
yeah,
it's part of it.
How do we feel about the PJ Fleck depiction? Have you guys noticed? It doesn't. I wouldn't say it's the greatest representation of your head coach.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it looks the most like him, but at least his name's in there as PJ Fleck. So I think they'll get it fixed up later down the line.
Last couple things for you, Darius. We hear a lot about the changes of college sports, and now revenue sharing is a big part of it. I assume everybody's got their PayPals locked in, so you can get those direct deposits in there. But what's it like being a player in this era where there is kind of that pressure or financial awareness now, and you got a lot of stuff coming at you at all times? What's the key to processing all of that in real time as these changes are happening to you guys?
The biggest thing is just focusing on the main thing, which is football. That's something that I've been talking to myself the last few weeks about, just with everything coming out and everything changing. It's just focus on football, getting back prepared for the season, because ultimately the season is what makes you money, and that's what gives you these opportunities is to play football. If you don't produce in the season, then you don't make very much money, nor do you have these opportunities to go off to the next level and things of that nature to make even more money. So I think that the biggest thing is just focusing on the season and football and your development, and then after that, then all the glitz and glamour comes with the money. And it's exciting. It's a great thing. I think that it's great for college athletes to be able to get paid. It's done a lot for me and my teammates, and I mean, I'm excited about it. All my teammates are excited about it. So I think it's a great thing, and I think it's a great change in college sports.
What's the key to keeping the football the main thing, or I guess eliminating the distractions of, I'm sure if you wanted, people would be coming at you all day, every day, right, with opportunities to do this, X, Y, Z. What's the key to kind of minimizing those distractions?
I don't necessarily think that it's minimizing your opportunities when it comes to actual deals and things of that nature. I think that it's just understanding that it's not the only thing that's important, and it's not what you're doing it for. You just have to understand that you're here to play football. You're not here to just do endorsement deals or just get paid. You truly have a quote-unquote job to do. You have to go play football. If you don't play football, then you don't make that money or get those endorsements. So I think that as long as you're just focusing on doing what you're supposed to do and understanding that the NIL and things of that nature aren't just the only thing that's important, then you'll be good.
How good, speaking of which, can this football team be this fall in 2025?
We can be very good. I think that the leadership is going to be very important. And then I think that just our best players playing their best is something that Coach Flick says all the time. And, I mean, it's true. If our best players play their best and we keep raising the floor, so meaning our young guys and guys who need development still, as long as they keep coming up and our ceiling keeps rising, I mean, we'll be no telling where we'll be at the end of the season. So, I mean, I'm excited to get there. And I think that we can be a great team.
Darius, thanks for coming by today.
Yes,
speaking of taking care of the body, I know the stop before this was a massage, right? I mean, that's good living. That's a good way to start the day, right? You take care of that soft tissue. So people wondering, what's he doing? Maintenance, get yourself ready. The massage early morning, you would recommend that?
I would. I mean, the massage feels great. But not just like a soft rub massage. It's a lot of digging in there and painful points. But, I mean, that's part of it. You use your money to invest back into the company to make more money. So
I love it. Invest back into the company. Thanks, Darius. Great to see you.
You as well.
We'll see you in Vegas next week, too.
I will be in Vegas.
Outstanding.
Let's go.
All right, we'll be ready. Darius Taylor, running back 1 for the Gophers. More from campus when we come back now.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
And to noon.
Fan.
Get ready, comedian Nate Bargatze is bringing 2 nights of laughs to the XL Energy Center. Don't miss out on the hilarity when he takes the stage Saturday, July 26th, Sunday, July 27th with the Big Dumb Highs World Tour. Limited tickets available. Get all the details, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Guardsy filling in for the Paul Allen Project today, and we are on campus. Gopher Football Local Media Day, and the voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm, is joining me. We're going to have a bunch of basketball talk here in the next 10 minutes or so. Women's basketball coach Don Plitzuweit is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Nico Medved's going to join us at 10 o'clock, men's basketball coach. Busy time, kind of a sneaky busy time for the hoops coaches as well, but it's going to be cool to have them here in a little bit, Grimmer. And then at 10:30, presumptive QB1 Drake Lindsay is going to join us, and it's an interesting time to be a Minnesota football fan, Gophers and Vikings. And you always say this all the time. You said this about Max Brosmer a year ago when people ask, and I'm sure they do all the time, how are they going to be? You always say, if the quarterback's good, they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
If not, we'll see. that's what I think both football teams locally with J.J. McCarthy and Drake Lindsay have right now.
I agree, and it's really kind of a continuing, it's really the third, I suppose, year in a row, right? Because you had the pretty consistent stretch with Tanner Morgan where you felt pretty good about that position, and then Ethan Kaliakmanis was coming in and, trying to figure out that year in 2023. And, that season, the November thing just went haywire. They didn't win a game in November, and they went from leading the division to out of contention. And then last year, we knew of Max Brosmer. We saw his numbers at New Hampshire, but you don't know how the translation will be, and it was good. He was good, and the team was pretty good. And so that's a similar thing, just the unknown. Like, it's probably the biggest question mark of the team, but I don't think that means it's like, are his skills questionable? The question is a redshirt freshman ready to figure out when to deliver the ball against a high-quality Big Ten defense? And if he's ready, and he's progressed to a point where he's making plays, this team can be pretty good.
Drake Lindsay will join us about an hour from now. We're now joined by women's basketball coach Dawn Plitzuweit. Speaking of Max Brosmer, Coach, you and I talked a lot about Max Brosmer last year. Remember that?
I remember that. I was there.
I listened to the show. I was listening to your Gopher show. He's like, you really like the quarterback. I said, you would too. He's a stud, right? But thanks for taking the time coming down to see us.
Absolutely. Good to be with you guys today.
I was just telling Grimm, because Nico's coming by right after you at 10 o'clock today. It's a sneaky busy time for basketball, right?
That's exactly right.
You just had practice a little while ago. I popped in on that, and I think tomorrow you hit the road again recruiting. So kind of take us through what's going on in the basketball world right now.
Well, we do. When we are allowed from the NCAA standpoint 8 weeks of workouts during the summer. So we came in early June, and then during the first week we have kind of an introduction, and we do some leadership training, and the second week we have camps, and then Mara was gone for a little stretch, and Mal was gone for a little stretch with a program for leaders in the Big Ten, and then we came back from that, and we had our third week, and at that point in time we're ramping it up a little bit more from a basketball standpoint. We're doing book studies. We at that point in time we were going to go to a Twins game, but I think at the Twins there were some weather issues that day. Then we took a week off for the 4th of July. We came back from the 4th of July, and then it gets really crazy for not just for our players, but really for our coaches. So we ramped it up from a workout standpoint in terms of conditioning during the stretch of July. So we're in the second week of kind of ramping it up. We had a team picnic when we came back, some workouts, book studies, and then we went on the road. And personally, I think I was in 4 cities in 4 days and traveled close to 5,000 miles and came back and got back on, I think, Monday night it was. And then Tuesday morning yesterday we had a workout. And then we had a speaker come in, some speakers, actually a couple, talk to us about taxes, and preparing your taxes and making sure you're working with a professional, really. And then some investment strategies. And then today we had a workout, and then, we have a book study taking place in a little bit. And then we go back on the road as coaches and travel all across the country again to watch players all across the country. And then we come back and we finish out the summer, and then we take a couple weeks off and the school year starts. So, in between all the time of not necessarily when we're on the road, at this time of the year we can't contact coaches or players, but as soon as you get off the road, that's what you're doing yesterday. You're with your team, you're trying to contact coaches, players, you're setting up the next recruiting trip. So it is a really sneaky busy time at this point in time, and but a fun time too.
You have had now 2 of this time of year here. This is your third year, I guess, in the June, July, May, June, July into this. I'm guessing in year 1 it was an absolute, you just have to show even the seniors and the juniors, the old players, what your expectation is. I remember having a couple of your players on the podcast, and they were like, man, it's so different, but it's so good. Like, we're stopping in the middle of practice and seeing video, and I don't know, maybe they hadn't done that previously. And now last year, I'm sure you had some returners. And now in year 3, how much different is it, if at all, now that most of this group has been together for a minute and they know what to expect this time of year?
It's really fun. I'm here to tell you. It's great. I love it. Even today in practice, we stopped and said, okay, the next challenge is this. Let's say Gold is on defense and Gold gives something up, right? Now the challenge is for the group that's checking in, the next group, the maroon group, for them to say, oh, we can't allow a middle drive. That happened to us. We gave a middle drive or an offensive rebound or too easy of a post touch or whatever. We have to get through screens, whatever it is, and then go into the game and do it. And in the past, we could say that, but, I don't think they even understand what a broken record is. Although they have come back, so maybe they do get it a little bit, but they don't really understand the reference to it. And now we're at the point where we said that today, and then Mara stepped in and said, hey, you guys, we can't give up a middle drive. That was exactly the example. And then in that next possession in transition defense, she was guarding Chloe from our staff, and Chloe tried to drive to the middle, and she cut her off, and good things happened. But the point at that point was not only do we see it and we said it, but when you're saying it to your team and trying to help your team, you're also aware at a much higher level yourself, and then you do it. And so right now we're at a stage where we as coaches don't necessarily have to tell them everything that they need to do. They now understand, and they can start to coach themselves and each other at a much higher level where it actually they understand it and they believe it and they go and do it. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun having 10 returners and bringing in some experience. We brought in 3 transfer kids, 2 freshmen. So even if our newcomers, we have some experience there. It's a different system, obviously, but they understand the physicality, the intensity, all those type of things.
Head coach John Plitzuweit, Gophers women's basketball, joining us here on the Fan. Guardsy and Grimm in for Paul Allen, 9 to noon. We're broadcasting from Gopher Football Media Day. You mentioned Mara Braun, for those that may not remember, a big part of the team, right? That
exactly.
Unfortunately, has missed significant time the last 2 seasons. So it sounds like recovery's good. She tried out for Team USA 3-on-3 again. Everything seems good to go with Mara, which is great news for everybody, I'd imagine.
It's incredibly great news, and right now I think she's continuing to grow and get out of her comfort zone and do new things. And she's stronger than she's been in the past, and so now all of a sudden you give a little hard ball fake and you can be a lot more explosive, or you can kind of draw contact and then score away from contact at a different level. And now she's, again, I use the example today because it happened just a few minutes ago, but she's taking her leadership to another level too, and that's really fun to see.
With her, too, I mean, just with the injury situation, you just have to kind of go about your business, I assume, just one, keeping your fingers crossed. Is there anything else that you try to do now, or is she full go, and you or do you try to manage her time on the court, or are there special things you're trying to do to make sure you have her for a full season?
Well, I think we have a great situation with our strength and conditioning staff, and with our athletic training staff, and then also from a dietary standpoint, from a nutrition staff, that they're all collaborate to make sure that all of our young ladies are in a situation where they're taken care of at the very highest level. And for each player, their individual needs, and so I think it's something that is really important that they understand. It's not only what you eat, it's also how you recover your body. It's how you sleep,
right.
How you're sleeping in the summer. That's really important, and how you're, regenerating and refueling and all those type of things. So it's a very collaborative effort in order for our young ladies to be at their best mentally, physically, spiritually, in all ways.
Let's talk about if she is healthy for a year, and you've got all these 10 players, and you're building up this. You're building up off of the WBIT championship. I think you and I were at one of our partnership meetings a month or so ago, and you were talking to some of these sponsors and such. And I think if I was reading the tea leaves right, your goal, you think you're going to be a pretty good basketball team. The next step in this progression is to make Williams Arena a little better home court edge, right? Because this can be a great home court edge. It's tough to play at places in the Big Ten, and you want to kind of have that situation.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Grimm. And so this is the time of the year where I'm looking back at my notes right now, and at this point in time, from a season ticket standpoint, we've done our season ticket renewals. We're in a really good spot from that standpoint. Renewal rate is at 88%, 87.8 approximately,
yeah.
Right? We've sold some new tickets. The thing that's really important to know right now is that there's an upgrade period in the next 3 weeks. So starting today, that for the next 3 weeks is the best opportunity to get the best seats that you can in order to buy season tickets. Williams Arena is a fantastic venue.
Correct.
It's incredible. You've been there. You guys know, right? And so people who are listening, I think a lot of them have probably been there. It's incredible. At the same time, the Big Ten and women's basketball was the best league, not only the best the Big Ten women's basketball has ever been, the best league in the history of college women's basketball at the Division I level. And I can say it with confidence because the Big Ten Ten had more women's basketball teams in the NCAA tournament than ever before, with 12. And then we were the team that went to the WBIT and were fortunate enough to win it. Now, the top 5 teams in last year's Big Ten all play in Williams Arena this year. So we're going to have some great opportunities to come to games, to see great competition. At the same time, come see us. Our young ladies are fun to watch. We have, I think, 10 players from the state of Minnesota. What more could you ask for?
Right.
They play a fun style. They get after it. They cheer for each other. They get on the floor. Basketball is a lot of fun in Williams Arena, but it's more fun when it's really, really loud. And our players take that to a whole nother level. And so now is the time to get season tickets. Great value. Incredible value for games. You want to go out and buy single tickets or single game tickets for some of those games in the Big Ten or whenever they are, you're going to end up spending more than you are on a season ticket package anyway. So now is the time to get your season tickets. Come watch this crew, because I think this crew can be a lot of fun.
And how have you addressed that with them? Because obviously the highly touted recruiting class, a couple of them are now seniors with Amaya and Mallory. They have not been to an NCAA tournament yet. I know they want to be. Obviously, Mara, right. Same thing. That's why they came here. As you guys were talking, that should be a legitimate expectation for this group in the next step. So how have you addressed that with them, that we could be really good this year?
Well, I think our strategy in doing that is let them figure out what it is that their mission, what mission do they want to be on? You know, what is it that they really want to do and accomplish? And then our goal as coaches is to help get them there and point them in the direction and put them in situations to practice the things we need to practice to be in that scenario. And I do think it's a very realistic expectation. But at the same time, we don't want to just get there. We want to make a run when we do get there.
Right.
And I do believe that this group has the makings, and they're doing things to help get us to a point where we play tougher, we are more disciplined, and I think the biggest thing for us is consistency. You know, and I think that is part of that. Yes, is depth. Is part of that is doing little things well all the time. And even though maybe that's been a point of emphasis, now we have to take that to a whole nother level, because I think we have abilities. We just have to do it all the time.
How much did the WBIT run, do you think? Because it felt like you guys kept improving throughout that, whether it was the games on the road. Where were we? Toledo, Kent State, coming back here to take on Gonzaga.
Yeah, where were we?
Yeah, a lot of different towns, a lot of flights and bus rides, but it felt like you guys made the most of that opportunity really back-to-back years with the WNIT and then WBIT.
Well, I think it carries a great deal of momentum for us moving forward. I certainly believe it gave us extra opportunities to grow and develop. One of the ways that I thought we got a lot better is our ball movement started to improve. I thought our shot selection started to improve, and we scored at a more efficient level. So when we look at how we shot the ball in the Big Ten, and then even the first game, I think that one was at Toledo, you know, we were under 30% from the arc, and that's not where we can be. We can't afford to be at that level. And then the next 4 games in the WBIT, we shot 39% from the arc. And so then the question becomes, well, why? Did we just get hot at the right time? Is that what it was? Did we take better shots? Were we better passers? Were we? And so there's some things that we look at, and then we try to build on those. Okay, so we learned this lesson. We learned that, you know, muscle memory is really important. Now, how do we use that moving forward, and use that in this time of the year, in the summertime, and then in the preseason, so that by the time we get to playing games again, it's just natural at that point in time. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to talk about it. We just do it.
Springfield, Missouri. How could I forget? We were in Springfield. Yes. We were in Springfield, Missouri.
Jackie
as well.
Styles country.
Yeah.
Do you remember how hot that practice gym was?
I do. I remember. I remember how nice their arena was. They have a nice arena.
Yes, they do.
Final couple of things for women's basketball coach Dawn Plitzuweit joining us here on the Fan. Guardsy and Grimm in for PA. You mentioned you're talking about investing and taxes with your players, because we are in this new crazy world, and obviously rev share pretty much on the table, right? Everybody should have their PayPal app and be ready to go, the official payment partner of the Big Ten Conference. So how, as one of the programs that is going to be a part of RevShare here, one of the 5, just how advantageous is that for women's basketball and for what you're trying to do here? Well,
I think it's an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible opportunity for our young ladies and for our program. I also think there's an obligation, and an obligation that we have as coaches to help try to make sure that our young ladies are as prepared for what it all looks like for them, to set them up for financial success, not just now, but in their future. And those are all things that we take very seriously as coaches, because we want to make sure that we are maximizing their opportunities to continue to take care of themselves, to grow, but also just be prepared. I think, what is it that they say, the average person who wins the lottery within 5 years is bankrupt and is in worse financial shape than when they won. And for our young ladies, the money that they're getting, it isn't like that kind of, winning a lottery, but it is an opportunity, but there's also an obligation that goes along with that. And so we want to make sure that we are setting them up for success. And, I do believe we have incredible young women. They're fun.
Yep.
You need to get your season tickets. Yeah. Get out and watch this crew.
100%. So it's Football Media Day today, so I have a quick two-part question. I don't know what the time...
we got a couple minutes.
One, are you a big football fan? And two, I know it's not the most important aspect of recruiting, but how can a good football team help women's basketball recruit, whether it's bringing recruits to games or just a general pride in the school when the football team's good?
First of all, love going to the games. Second of all, we use it a great deal in recruiting, and most of the time, unfortunately, I'm cheering, but I'm not really paying attention all that time because we're talking to recruits and their families and those kind of things. And so sometimes I have to be reminded what's going on during the game because I'm involved in another conversation. Right. They say women, and I pride myself on the fact that I can multitask, but you can't multi-focus, right?
Yes.
So you can multitask, and we can be good at that. We can give you guys a hard time because maybe you're not as good as females are, but it's hard to multi-focus at the same time. So, but I do think, what's exciting for us right now, I will say this, PJ Fleck and the football staff have been incredible for our staff in recruiting and in anything that we need. And so they've been absolutely phenomenal to work with. I also believe that right now there's so much excitement around our football team and football this year, but also building into the future and our recruitment, that I think there's a contagious energy with all of it. And, what is it? The rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah.
And so at this point in time, I've seen it before where all of a sudden, and when I was at Grand Valley, the interesting thing is that was my first head coaching job, and the football program was knocking on the door of national championships, and so was volleyball. And then all of a sudden, over the course of time, football won one, volleyball won one, and then women's basketball won one in the same year.
Wow.
And so, but again, it's great evidence to that belief that as you start to make things happen, it helps everybody. And when one of our players was interviewed after the game, Crystal Zick was interviewed, and they asked her, well, football won and volleyball won. What do you think? She was like, it was time for us to get ours,
Yeah.
But it becomes an expectation.
Right.
And I think that's something that is exciting for our entire athletic department. But I also think for the state of Minnesota, but not just the state, but also all Minnesota fans, that this is a time. I think there's a trajectory, an upward trajectory right now within the university, but also certainly within the athletic department. Get on board. Be a supporter. Now it's going to be fun because now we can all enjoy the football team, men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, hockey, women's hockey, track, all of it. So I think it's a really exciting time right now.
Yeah, things feel very stable and, like you said, ready to, I think, with all the sports, I feel like they're in a good spot, women's basketball included, and part of the stability has to do that's just a football player doing something for the Jumbotron. It's the first time that's happened today during the show.
Awesome.
Third time.
That's the third time?
Like that, though.
But
that was good.
That was really good. But you just a couple of weeks ago was announced contract extension here, obviously, which I think about. PJ just got one as well. Like you kind of get this thing going, and you just keep everything in place. And now I have to imagine you feel like that's great for momentum as well. We don't talk about momentum in the football building.
Yeah, I know. I apologize for that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We can have different beliefs with that.
It's good. I think it's always nice to have that stability, right?
Absolutely, it is. And, we're really fortunate within our women's basketball program from a staffing standpoint to have consistency, continuity. I think a couple of my friends have come to watch us in workouts and practice, and there are times that they're like, hey, your coaches are doing all the work. What are you doing? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm training them to do the work. Exactly. But I can trust them to take different groups and work on different aspects of it and compete, and we're all teaching the same things, and there's consistency in the messaging that the players hear all the time. And so I think that's really, really important, is that as we continue to build, it's not not, I think people will say, oh, wow, that just happened. It didn't just happen. It's laying the foundation and taking care of all the little details and doing little things at a really high level and then challenging players to continue to add to their game. So, yes, Mario did a great job in this example of saying this to Tori, but then what about when this happened? Why didn't you say anything at that point in time? Oh, yeah, you're right. I could have done that. Or did you give her a high five? Did you build her up at that point? No. Okay, well, that's the next step. And so I think in order for us to really blow the roof off of Williams Arena, we've got to continue to do little things well. That's why the next 3 weeks are going to be important. This is an opportunity for new season ticket holders to get tickets and get the best seats available that they can get. The next 3 weeks are important.
They started $150 for the season, which you said the value.
It's incredible.
The value,
it's a whole season.
Yeah, the value is great.
great.
My parents can't really upgrade. They're row one on the baseline. They like to sit right by the bench. They tell me what's going on down there. They're kind of like
they're basically coaching the team.
They are. They're my parents are like the unofficial sideline reporter. Like, what's Dawn talking about down there? What was she mad about? Because we're row one of second deck. We can't know everything. Yeah. So. Got my moles down there.
Yeah, I see that. That's all right. I'll get them a clipboard. They'll be fine. Yeah. They'll be ready to go.
I can't wait for the season. I know we don't want to wish summer away. We want to stay where we are here a little bit. But thanks for coming to see. It's great. Thanks for letting me come to practice today, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Not that long ago.
A couple of days ago.
Yeah.
62 years old. He doesn't look like a day over.
It's amazing.
There's something else, Grimm.
Head coach Don Plitzuweit joining us here at Gopher Football Media Day. More from Dinkytown when.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
You come back.
Celebrate the return of football with the Minnesota Vikings at training camp. The fun kicks off Saturday, July 26th for Back Together Saturday. Score tickets today at Vikings.com/camp.
Welcome back to campus. Guardsy filling in 9 to noon today. Gopher Football Local Media Day. Guys are running in and out, doing a bunch of stuff, getting ready for the season, a bunch of media obligations. We've already heard from Darius Taylor, Gophers running back. We just heard from women's basketball coach Don Plitzuweit. Nico Medved, the men's coach, will join us at the top of the 10 o'clock hour, as well as quarterback Drake Lindsay at 10:30. The voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm, hanging out with me today, as well as we fill in for Paul Allen. Dawn's got some juice, right? Dawn Plitzuweit's got some juice, and I love that she's always. It all comes back to getting people into the barn, and you and I are lucky enough to go to all the Big Ten, football stadiums, obviously, but basketball arenas as well. You on the men's side, me on the women. They all play in the same spots, and we've been saying it forever. Like, atmospheres matter, vibes matter, and I've been very. What's the word? Critical, observant of ticket prices when it comes to men's and women's basketball and things of that nature. They've done a good job, I think, of trying to get people back in there and get things ready to go. So, never a bad time. Gophersports.com.
Never a bad time, and I think she has kind of been strategic. I mean, you can tell that she has. Honestly, in my time, I'm not sure I've seen a coach that I've covered here for sure, and just generally in all my career, that just. Has a plan like she has. There's a purpose with everything she does, and PJ's that way as well, and they just got this blueprint, and nothing's by accident.
Right.
And I think this year, at this time, this is the first time she's really pushed that. I think she felt like we got to get a base, as she said, a foundation. We're going to be pretty good, is what she's thinking.
And they are going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, just straight up, they're going to be a good team. They were a tournament team a year ago before Mara gets hurt, really the last 2 years.
Yep.
And provided she's healthy and everybody, Taylor Woodson is healthy, they're going to be really good. They're really going to be good.
Kind of why I phrase a question to her that way, in the sense of, it seems to me that her thought is the next step now. We've got the players, and again, assuming health, you just never know, but assuming health is there, this team has a real good chance to be in the thick of a lot of important games, and the next step then is to make this a really hard place to come and play, and that is clearly a goal and a push, and it's very purposeful for her, and it should. $150, are you kidding me, for a whole season? That's like 20 home games.
Exactly right.
Or however many, 18, whatever the home schedule is, but it's crazy. I mean, and as she said, it's a great home schedule. And women's basketball, man, I'm telling you, it in the Big Ten especially,
it's fun.
It's a fun thing.
All right, let's do this. Our next guest is here, and we're due for a break in a few minutes, so let's just bang it out early. Nico Medved, men's basketball coach, is going to join us. The women had practice this morning. The men are about to, so the new Gopher men's basketball coach and Roseville native is going to join us before practice. We'll get to him when we kick off the second hour next.